Hello, 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 my beloved souls, Divine Masculine Monday. So, we're still in the beautiful month of October. We're in the middle of Libra season. We're actually in the last week of Libra season, right? Because we have Scorpio season coming up. So, Venus is still in Libra, really helping us to heal all these relationship issues that are coming up. And I know that this has been a challenge for so many people, whether it's you guys contacting me here or on IG or Facebook in the DMs or emailing me or just even if my clients that are calling in. This has been a really heavy energy, right? Everybody's dealing with like maternal and paternal wounding and intimate relationship woundings and woundings with our friendships and wherever you've had some type of relationship, right? It's all coming up, right? To be healed. So it doesn't matter if you're 5 years old and had a bad experience or you're 55 and had a bad experience. It's all coming up to the surface. And none of it's for judgment or criticism. It's all for healing and awareness so that we can help shift through it, so we can lean into it, so we can go through it, right? We got to feel it to heal it. So take a deep breath, right? Know that you're okay, let it out, shake it off, know that this is not gonna be forever, right? We started the year with Venus in retrograde, really focusing on healing the divine feminine woundings and all that stuff. And now towards the end of the month, we have Mars going retrograde, which is gonna have us really focusing on the healing of the masculine energy. So for some of you, you may be feeling that already. I know I've been seeing that a lot in my clients recently, with just a lot of this male ego wounding coming up, right? Your pride, your ego, your power, your motivation, how you communicate, all of that is really being coming to the ahead, right? So for you, my beautiful divine masculines, just as these energies really start to be amplified in your life, right? Take a moment to take a step back and to just be really reflective, right? For weeks or if not months now, you've been told that you need to listen more than you speak, right? We got two ears and one mouth, and you keep getting that guidance because you're really being told to stop and reflect, right? Reassess. Don't be in this energy of just popping off, just reacting to whatever life is throwing at you, right? You want to really take a breath and respond. You want to stay really, really grounded at this time, right? Really grounded, really centered, get some rest, be mindful of how you're communicating, and also be aware that like everybody's going through these super sensitive moments at this time, right? And so understand the difference between someone projecting their fears and their emotions and their traumas onto you, or whether or not this is a reflection of something going on within you that you need to heal, right? If you keep dating the same type of person, right? And it's like, oh, I always date insecure people, or I always date jealous people, or always date somebody who's controlling. If you're the common denominator, you need to take a look at that, right? Because it's like, all right, well, why? What within my field, what haven't I healed yet with those energies, right? Am I jealous and insecure and controlling? Or is this something that I might have picked up, along the way in childhood, something that I've learned as a distorted belief system that I have to release now, right? That's being brought to my awareness for this healing, for this growth. So, sorry, just being mindful of that. My hair is like going crazy today. It does what it wants to do. It always does. So anyway, my beautiful divine masculines. Of course, we're gonna do the power animal oracle. We got the birds coming out big time, screaming in the background. I love that. And we're gonna pull a healing mantra. Okay, yes, yes. More bird energy for you. And we're also going to pull a healing mantra. Birds are messengers, by the way. So pay attention. All right. A healing mantra, and we're also going to pull a chakra card for you. So thank you, angels. Thank you guys for being here with me in the Divine Masculine Collective. What do they need to know? And what do they need to see for this upcoming week? So thank you, angels. Thank you, guys. What does Divine Masculine need to know? And what do they need to see for this beautiful upcoming week? Last week in Libra. Beautiful. Bottom of the deck. Oh, one of my spirit animals. Horse with freedom. You always have a choice. We all have free will, divine masculines, right? And so the only time someone can take our power is when we give our power away. And I know that that's like a jagged little pill to swallow at times when we are looking at our lives and we are not being accountable. But at the end of the day, you have a choice. And even we may not like the choices that are presented to us, right? It's like talking to a little kid. It's like, all right, you can do your homework now or you're going to do it later, but either way, you're going to get it done. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to do homework. That's not an option. It's A or B. C is not on the table, right? So We always have a choice in the things we do, and we all have free will. So, what are some of the choices that you're making, and are you willing to be accountable for those choices? Because good, bad, or indifferent, you still made a choice, and you still have to be accountable for the consequences of those choices, right? Good, bad, or indifferent. Some of the consequences are going to be amazing and awesome and feel delicious, and some won't. And some will just kind of be like a plateau, and you'll just kind of be on the fence with life. But either way, you have to make a decision about something. Even not making a decision is a decision, right? Badger, perseverance. Dig in and see it through to completion. Divine masculines, I think you guys had this last week as well, right? But you gotta go, like I just said earlier, you gotta, the only way out is through, right? We gotta lean into the things that are coming out right now. We gotta lean into our emotions, lean into our fears, lean into our abandonment, lean into our jealousy, lean into our resentment, our bitterness, our anger, right? However, fear is choosing to present itself, whatever mask it has on, we need to feel it to heal it, right? Fear is outside the confines of the Most High, right? God is pure love. And so anything outside of that is the energy of fear. It just gets played out in different ways. So you really want to just feel into all of this. And it's not so that you can relive these traumas. It's not so that you can sit there and beat yourself up about the toxic relationships you've been in or the toxic person you've been or whether or not you've been a narcissist or dealt with a narcissist or whatever. It's so that you can be accountable so that you can make better decisions, right? So that when the choices come before you, you're making choices that serve your highest and greatest good, and the choices that you're making are based out of love, right? And not out of fear. That is why we're dealing with all of this. Koala empathy. What did I freaking say? Speak less and listen more. For months, you've been getting this energy, right? Two ears, one mouth. Really imperative during this time, and especially as we head towards this Mars retrograde, right? Really imperative to just pay attention and listen. Not everything deems a comment, like silence is a strength and a superpower. I tell people that all the time. I'm like, not, people are like, oh, just, always say something, always got something to say. You don't always have to say something. Sometimes you just need to sit and observe. Sometimes somebody's coming to you and pouring their heart out, not because they want commentary or they need advice, right? Sometimes a person just wants someone to be there to listen. So, are you in a space where you're able to be that conduit for someone else where you can just hold space for them and just listen? And do you have those type of people in your life that are just going to allow you to just listen, right? Some people just think out loud. They do. They just sort through their thoughts and they're just going through the motions and they're just thinking out loud and they're just doing it with you kind of there. They don't actually need you to participate in the conversation. They just need to hear their own thoughts and like kind of shift through it. I'm very discerning when somebody calls me and they're complaining about a relationship or whatever they might be talking about. And I go, do you want advice or do you just want someone to listen? And I ask my friends up front because I may say something giving them like what I think is advice and they may not necessarily want advice, right? And now they feel some kind of way because I've made a comment about whatever it is that they've contacted me about, right? So just be very discerning. Not everybody needs a comment, all right? We have two ears and one mouth for a reason. Listen twice as much as you speak. And beautiful turtle with retreat. Stop trying to make something happen. With retrogrades, and we have about 5 planets in retrograde right now, retrogrades are always about resting, reflecting, reassessing, and reevaluating, right? So, and like I said again, it's funny that this Mars retrograde energy is coming up so soon. Mars is the planet of action and motivation and power, energy, and getting things done, right? Mars is that power center that puts the battery in our back and has us get things going. And when it's in retrograde, it's slowing things down. So this is the time where you're not gonna be like the Aries and force your way through and be ramming things through. No, you're gonna take a step back and just chill out and look and kind of look at the big picture of things and be like, okay, like what are some of the small steps that I can do right now, right? I don't want to force it. I'm not trying to jam this door open or trying to force something to fix it to fit and then ends up breaking it. No, like how can I look at this a little bit differently, right? How can I approach this a little bit differently? Maybe this isn't the time for this, right? Sometimes we get guidance and we'll get like an intuitive download about something that we're supposed to do, but it doesn't mean that we're supposed to take action on it right at that moment. But it's a seed that's been planted in our soul, right? I remember when I started my spiritual practice and I was guided to do this, like I was just like, I'm Aries, right? We go all in, we do it, we get started right away. Like, put me in, coach. And for a long time, like nothing was happening. It was a lot of stagnation. I was just kind of like, I got the download, I got the information, I'm following suit, but it wasn't the right time for things, right? I needed to learn more, I needed to develop more, I needed to hone a couple of skills, I needed to do some stuff behind the scenes, I needed to see what was going to work and what wasn't going to work, right? And really kind of just like figure those things out along the way. And so now I've had to kind of like restructure. I just restructured my website, I just changed some of the things, some of the products that I was offering people, because although that was what I was guided to do at that moment, it wasn't for that moment. It was a seed to be planted, but nothing sprouted because it wasn't my springtime, right? It was time to put the seed in and to let things be dormant and to let things sit and to let things work behind the scenes, right? Like in the wintertime. And now it's the springtime, right? Now I'm coming towards that season where I'm starting to see things coming to fruition, right? I'm starting to see the leaves on the branches once again, right? So sometimes you just gotta stop and chill and reassess, right? And it doesn't mean that you're off path, and it doesn't mean it's not going to work. It doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It just means that along the timing of things, like sometimes we rush things. This is not the time to rush things. This is the time to chill out, to make things happen, but not to quit, right? The badger with perseverance. Just because it's taking a little bit longer than you want it to take doesn't mean that you quit. It doesn't mean that you quit. You still keep going. All right? You still keep going. Beautiful. We're going to do a chakra message for you first. Get a message for the chakras. So thank you, angels and guides. What chakra do the divine masculines need to be focused on for this beautiful last week in Libra? It says a chakra message. Please and thank you. May I get one card, my angels and guides? One card to the beautiful divine masculine. One message, please. Like, nope, you're going to take these 3 cards. Oh, 4 cards. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Y'all are freaking hilarious. All right, we got the 5th chakra with throat chakra twice. So we'll start there. Communication, right? We got communication is the first one, and creative expression. I communicate openly and honestly to express my thoughts and feelings clearly. I share my inner knowledge freely with integrity and without fear. My aim is to be fully understood by others. I'm open to giving and receiving praise, and I will be careful not to talk excessively and make it all about me. That's that Mars energy, right? Very self absorbed. I create space in my conversations for others to communicate with me. Once again, we listen, 2 ears, one mouth, right? Nothing wrong with communicating, but know when to be quiet. Know when you're overly communicating, right? I know a lot of people, my ex was like this, just run their mouths, run, mouth. Be talking. Like my kids do this too, right? Run their mouth all day, be talking all day, and don't be saying shit, right? Sometimes you just got to be quiet. Silence is okay. It's a safe space. I inquire about others' thoughts and feelings, as listening to their truth can be uplifting, right? You'd be surprised some of the things you learn from other people if you just shut up and listen, right? It's like my daughter, she drives me crazy, right? Like a movie will start, she'll be like, what happened? She's so busy asking questions, she's not getting. I'm like, just stop talking and watch. Stop talking and listen. None of us know what happened yet. The movie started 5 minutes ago. You got a million questions. Just shut up and pay attention, right? And that's what you got to do sometimes. You just got to shut up and pay attention. Just shut up and watch. Listen. Especially you want to let people talk, right? Silence is uncomfortable for a lot of people, divine masculine, right? But if you let a person talk, 90% of the time they tell on themselves. Give them the floor. Let them rock out. Pay attention to what people are saying to you. And pay attention to the messages you're receiving, right? Don't be so quick to judge the messenger. Pay attention to the message. You can learn a lot from that alcoholic in front of the freaking liquor store or the homeless guy that you think is just talking shit. You'd be surprised the gems that are in this world. You know what I mean? Angels come in very different places and very different spaces. I am committed, I'm sorry, creative expression. I am committed to sharing and revealing my thoughts and feelings by being creative and in my communications and in by being creative in my communication style and using expressive language, right? I know I got a potty mouth, but you can express yourself in other ways. I express myself through talking, singing, sighing, laughing, and crying, and through using my creative talents. How are you showing up in this world to communicate, right? I know for a lot of the divine masculines, at least that I've worked with, a lot of my clients, one of their love languages is sex, right? Nothing wrong with that, right? Sex is a beautiful way to communicate, but you also have to use your words, right? You can't just fuck your way through these things all the time. People need a conversation too. I consciously use my senses to experience my world more fully. What did I just say about the sex? I see, hear, smell, and feel more, and I become more aware of my surroundings, such as the weather, aromas, people, nature, sounds, and sights. Pay attention. Then we got third chakra, solar plexus. This is your energy. The divine masculine energy is in our solar plexus. That's our own internal sun, right? That's between your like breastbone and your belly button, your own fire power center. Self confidence. I trust myself fully. I will not allow fear or doubt to hold me back from doing what I am here to do. That's a beautiful energy. I trust in a higher power and I'm open to new challenges. I have confidence, belief, and conviction in my abilities and goals. The energy of perseverance, right? I welcome questioning by others as this gives me a chance to clarify my truth, ideas, and philosophies. Sometimes when a person is asking you questions, instead of being defensive about these questions, right? Take it for what it is. Like maybe they don't understand. So if a person's coming to you and they may not understand your message, maybe you need to be a little bit clearer in your direction. Maybe you need to be more clearer in how you're expressing yourself, right? Maybe you need to be more clearer in your own vision, right? Don't take everything as a judgment, as a criticism, as an attack, right? I know it can feel that way sometimes depending on how a person is expressing themselves, but instead of taking everything personally and being super sensitive, right? Take it for what it is, a lesson, a chance to grow, evolve. It can be a little challenging depending on who the person is that's asking these questions, but again, stop focusing on the messenger and focus on the message, right? Really important during this time. Really important. And last, seventh chakra, the crown chakra, divine intervention. Thank you, Most High. I honor a higher power and know that anything is possible. Praise God. I let a higher power have a more active presence in my life, and I know that my life is divinely guided. I surrender to this truth. Trust in your intuition and the intuitive promptings you're getting. The signs and synchronicities are coming to you for a reason. Stop overthinking things, right? And allow it to flow through. Allow it to flow through you, right? Go with the flow of life. Allow that river to take you to your greatest successes, to your blessings, to your miracles, to your grace. I know that I'm loved, guided, and protected by a higher source every day in every way, my beautiful divine masculines. And I am open to seeking guidance in my spiritual quest from a spiritual teacher, master, or guru. Beautiful. I love that energy for you. All right, we're going to end with a healing mantra, my beautiful divine masculines, and then send you on your week. Thank you, Angel. Thank you, guys. Can I get one card, please, for the divine masculine for this week? What do they need to focus on in regards to the energy of healing? Ooh, awakening. Awakening inspired action. That's trusting in divine, right? Look at that sacred geometry. There is only what life is asking of me. There is only what life is asking of me. There is only what life is asking of me. We go into prayer. We ask God for what we want. We go into meditation so that we can listen and hear the directions and the guidance that we're being received. And then we take action. We're not trying to force something to happen. We're waiting for that divine higher guidance. We're waiting for that intuitive prompting. And then we're taking an awakened action step. It's from this energy of just falling back and trusting that we're going to know the path in front of us and then taking the step. And you're going to be given the step one step at a time. You're not going to get all the steps at once. So if you think that you're going to go into meditation, all of a sudden have this huge blueprint put out in front of you, you're not. You're going to get guided to do one thing. And then you'll be guided to do another thing. And then you'll be guided to do another thing. The soul speaks to us in a whisper. It's never loud and obnoxious. That's the ego. It's even more the reason why we need to be quiet and be mindful, right? So that we can actually hear the soul when it's talking to us. Okay? I'm going to leave it at that. I love you. God loves you. Angels surround you. And I'll see you guys soon. Later.